Hey, what's going on, guys? Vince Plays here, and today, guys, I'm doing my first podcast. I thought this would be a fun idea to do. I'm here with David, or TheSpasticGamer. Um,
Hi guys.
so we have some topics to talk about today, obviously. So we have like
Um,
three topics. If you guys want to hear more or see more podcasts, you can let me know in the comments, and Um, we will make more, and maybe next one will be live. So you guys can let me know what you think in the comments. But anyway, let's go ahead and head into the first topic today. And if you want to go ahead and start it off, David.
all right, so our first thing to talk about would be how YouTube creators are losing ad revenue. It's people are freaking out about this, and it's basically because a bunch of big advertisers of YouTube kind of drew out from it. They kind of I'm not sure how I was saying how they kind of said it. Advertisers pulled their businesses according to blah 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 person. I have an article up right here, and basically YouTube was saying that they can lose millions and millions of dollars. It says $750 million in revenue this year over the advertisers pulling their businesses out. And so basically, the reason why businesses are doing this is because they're seeing that their ads are being placed uh, on videos with hate speech and videos that are supporting terrorism. And so YouTube kind of pulled a bunch of ads. They're kind of they're adding tweaks to their ad system, and I'm guessing they're tweaking it from now, and it's kind of pulling ads from the smaller YouTubers for now because they're kind of working on it, and so there's nothing really to worry about. But they're just basically YouTube's basically trying to do this to save their ass right now.
Yeah, that's
So
basically what it boils down to. Is YouTube is just trying to kind of cover their own ass and be like, "Oh, well, we're working on it. You don't have to jump ship from our site. We need your money, so we're gonna try to do as much damage control as we can right now." And until this whole thing dies down, and then nothing is really changing. I don't think. I just think that this is some PR talk to try to cover their ass until everything dies down a little bit.
yeah, and so there was a few creators who were getting worried about it, like Keemstar, for example. He tweeted out, "I'm getting reports that smaller YouTubers with 25K or less subs aren't getting any ads at all placed on their videos anymore." This is incorrect because there was multiple YouTubers who tweeted on this saying, one of them quoted, quote, "I've got 15K and I have ads, no problem here." There's other people saying, "I'm getting more views but less revenue." Yes, you are getting less revenue, but you are still getting ads. So he falsely said this. Even Google says this is not correct. According to Google, numerous tweets, Twitter users responded to the tweet saying their channel still has ads. Some, however, did not complain about declines in revenue. It's not a thing for YouTube creators to raise concerns in the inconsistencies on the platform. Creators of activist channels, including one devoted to sharing stories of abuse of women and other run by a transgender activist, have complained of videos they said following guidelines, nonetheless losing ads. So they're kind of YouTube's kind of being iffy with their guidelines right now, and they have to work on the issues. That's why we're losing ad revenue. Like, I'm getting no ad revenue whatsoever right now,
Yeah,
and
me
that's just
too.
because of the
Like
YouTube kind of fucking up.
I used to average like 20 cents. Like from what I was doing. I'm a pretty small channel. I don't have a lot of subs on my old channel, but I used to make like 20 cents every video. Now I get like 3 cents, and most of the time it stays at zero. But when I do make money, it's like 3 cents instead of like the 20 that I was getting before.
So yeah, moving from YouTube, I think we're gonna move on to a more gaming wise. So we're gonna go to the Xbox, the new Xbox One X.
Yeah, to basically summarize this with a nice little summary, basically, um, a bunch of big companies didn't like what the content that their ads were being placed on, so controversial videos and stuff like that. So YouTube, when all those big companies said, "Oh well, we're not going to put our ads there anymore because we don't really like what our ads are being shown on," YouTube went into full damage control, saying, "Oh, we're working on." Basically, it's just trying to save face for as long as they can. Just hope to God that everything dies down by the time like basically by the time everything boils, oh my God, I can't talk today. By the time everything settles down, they're hoping that all the big companies will just be like, "Oh, okay, that's fine." But yeah, moving on from that, I think we're going to move straight on to the Xbox One X announcement.
Yeah, so basically, Xbox is announcing a new console, the Xbox One X. It's coming with 4K video quality. It's supposedly the world's most powerful console. It's got 40% more power than any other console. Experiencing smoother gameplay because it's got a 8-core custom AMD CPU, which is clocked at 2.3 gigahertz, which enhances AI in real world detail. It's got more memory, so that means bigger world. It's got 12 gigabytes of GDDR5 graphic memory, which adds speed and power to game performance. It's got lifelike detail. It adds a 6 teraflop GPU, which does enable the 4K environments and characters, which makes stuff more realistic and adds more detail and smoother animations. It's also got more memory bandwidth, which means faster load times. So, like, let's first say when you're in GTA and you're loading online, you know how there's like a very long wait with the Xbox One, the normal Xbox One, and it takes like at least 5-6 minutes to join into like online or offline, something like that. I mean, this will be cut in half or even lower with the faster load times with the extra bandwidth. It's game graphics are faster and more detailed with 326 gigabytes per second of memory bandwidth. So that should be very awesome to look forward to.
Yeah, basically he did a really good job summarizing everything, but basically, yeah, so the processor is a custom AMD clocked at 2.3 gigahertz. I've heard rumors, I don't know if this is fact. I heard it's still based off of the Jaguar APU that's in the original Xbox One that may be overclocked. I don't know, but that's what I've heard, is that it's still based on the Jaguar architecture. And but it's supposed to be a lot more powerful, and the 12 gigs of DDR5 will really be helpful too. I think the original Xbox One has 8 gigs of DDR3. I'm like 100% sure that's what it is. The 6 teraflops of GPU power, I don't know like actual numbers, but I know that the original Xbox One is only like, I think it's like 1.6 teraflops or something, so it's a lot more powerful than the original. And the memory bandwidth thing, yeah, the better graphics and whatever. Everything will basically be able to be loaded faster than with the regular Xbox One. But yeah, I'm really, I don't know how David feels. Like, I'm looking forward to it. I would rather build a gaming PC, but as far as like consoles go, it's a really, like, for what we have now, like the current gen consoles are really weak. But this is pretty powerful compared to what other options you have.
Mm-hmm. So, any more comments on this topic?
Yeah, actually, one more thing that actually, on top of all that, it's actually going to be smaller than the Xbox One S is.
That's a tiny console.
Yeah, that's one of the main reasons I want it, mainly just because I already bought a fuck ton of games for it and I already have a gold subscription, so that's why I'm going to probably get one, but it's gonna be super tiny. It still has the internal power supply, so there's still no power brick.
Yeah, that's gonna be pretty nice.
Yeah, um I think Microsoft has really turned things around since 2013. Like, they started out with this piece of shit that basically was a fucking glorified DVR that plays video games, and they've really made it a gamer's game console, I think. And I because like I said, I really want a PC, so I'm glad that they're unifying Xbox and PC, because that's where I play on PC and on Xbox. So I'm happy about that, and I really am happy of how they actually turned that around. And oh yeah, one more thing, David. Original Xbox backwards compatibility.
The original Xbox backwards compatibility? What?
Yeah, this year they're rolling out backwards compatibility on the Xbox One with the original Xbox games.
Holy shit!
Yeah, like real, like 2001 Xbox games they're bringing to the Xbox One. Um, I'm very excited for that. I hope they bring some of the games I really like to it, like Halo. Like, I'm sure they'll probably bring them, like Halo 1 and 2, and The Sims 2, and all the older GTAs and the Harry Potter games and Max Payne and LA Rush and all those games that I love. I hope they bring those, because that would be awesome.
Yes, that would. I remember so many games that I used to play on the original Xbox, and I would love to play them again. That would be fucking amazing if it was that it comes to back compatibility.
Yeah, because that's like the generation I started on. Like, that's where I have a lot of good memories. Like, I had a PS2, but basically I did play a lot of Halo like later, like in like 2008 and 9. I played a lot of Halo on my uncle's original Xbox. So, I have a lot of good memories there, but also I have a lot of good memories on just the games from that generation. So, that will be cool to play those again.
Yeah, it would be really cool. It's pretty cool. Do you want to move on topics?
Yeah, let's go ahead and move right along. We're gonna. I just
Yeah.
want to put this.
Speaking of the back, the
Go
all
ahead.
right, you go ahead.
Oh, all right. I was
Okay,
gonna
so I was
say.
basic. Shit.
Oh my god! All
But
right, you
there's too
go.
much lag.
You go.
Okay, so earlier you were speaking about cross-platform between PC and Xbox. There was Sony kind of cock-blocked Xbox from being cross-platform, because everyone wants to be cross-platform, like Nintendo, PC, Xbox, and then Sony, for in the beginning, like there was like there at E3, Sony was saying, "Oh yeah, we're very open to that idea," but now they're saying no. They made some bullshit excuse saying that would make a player, it would not be very safe for players, and Xbox kind of came back at that in their own way. I don't remember what it exactly said, But yeah, so PlayStation kind of turned down Xbox's offer for being uh, cross-platform.
Yeah, like that's such bull. Like, because Nintendo is about the most child friendly game company out there. Like, every game they put out pretty much is like rated E. Because that doesn't mean they're bad games. I'm trying to say, like, they're the most child friendly people out there and they're allowing it. So that's really not an excuse because. And see, like, that's another reason why I like PC because, like, they're saying basically what they're saying is like, oh, well, you have a PlayStation, so we are going to tell you that you're not safe because we said so. You want to play with other people from different consoles? Well, fuck you. That's not in our policy. You play here, so you play where we tell you can, not where you want to.
Yeah, it was kind of one of the PlayStation players or something like that. Someone from PlayStation was saying, exposing what in many cases are children to external influences. We have no ability to manage or look after this. So basically, PlayStation is saying like if a PlayStation person wanted to play with an Xbox, they have no way of looking after this. Like they can't track anything, so it's unsafe for them. So they just don't want anything to service or anything.
Yeah, like that's bull because like we could have a world pretty much where everybody can play with everybody and there's no like barriers between like, oh, well, I bought an Xbox and my friend Joe that lives in fucking Ohio, I can't play a game with him anymore. You can play with anybody no matter what, and Sony is pretty much putting a stop to unifying everything and making that perfect world where everybody can game with everybody. And
Yeah, and
I really hate that because that would be like that's the end goal. I think that should be our end goal is unifying everything. Every game that has multiplayer, every console or platform should be able to play with each other. If that game is on that console, you should be able to play with each other no matter what you're on. And like I get it with like PC because like it say Call of Duty 25 has people that play on PC are gonna shit on the people that are playing on console because the mouse and keyboard is a better um better what would you call that?
it's better for aiming and stuff like that because you can easily lock onto someone.
Yeah,
But
basically the mouse and keyboard's a better peripheral for controlling your character. So you would get shit on pretty much. But in that perfect world where everybody can play with everybody, Microsoft could start adding support for mouse and keyboard on Xbox. People that play on console could have mouse and keyboard, and therefore it's an even playing field.
mm-hmm. They that's was like one of the excuses early on in the years for making cross-platform, and then there was like this little device where it allows you to hook up. It's like a little box, and it allows you to hook up a mouse and keyboard, so you can play with mouse and keyboard.
Yeah, the Keymander.
Yeah, that's what it was called, and it was pretty cool. It's like about $70 right now, and I was actually thinking about getting one.
Yeah, I was thinking about that too because, like, I have a console and I'm 15, so I can't get a job yet. So I can't just get like $800 and go out and buy a computer. So like a console is a lot more in reach for me because I can save for a year or two and get $200 or $300 to buy a console. Like $800 for a computer though I can't do like right now. Like I'm gonna get a job next year or this year, I guess now. But I'm gonna get a job and I'm gonna buy a PC. But for the in the past anyway, PC has been very out of reach, and that would be cool to like be able to use like a mouse and keyboard. So games like Minecraft and Call of Duty and stuff, I prefer to play with a mouse and keyboard. So that'll be that. I think I'm gonna get one. When I get the Xbox One X, which I will probably end up getting, I'll probably get that too, just so I can use mouse and keyboard.
Speaking of mouse and keyboard, I actually didn't read this before, but it also says, this article also says, this isn't the first time the two companies have been at odds over gaming features that have been blocked. Microsoft had blocked mods in past games like Unreal Tournament 3, and it has refused to enable keyboard and mouse support on its Xbox 360 and Xbox One consoles. But Sony enables mods and keyboard/mouse support on its PlayStation 3 and PlayStation 4 consoles.
Wait, so you can use mouse and keyboard on PS3 and PS4?
Apparently, because they enable mods and keyboard and mouse support.
I have a PS3. Like that's what I was gonna say before I moved on this topic. Is that I'm not like anti Sony. Like I know like we have two PlayStation topics that are kind of like the stupid stuff they do. Like I have a PS3. David has had a PS3. We both like Sony consoles, but the stuff they do is really bad for the community and is just restrictive, and that's my problem. Like I like Sony, but their business practices are not subtle and they're obvious and they're like fuckery, I guess. Like they're not subtle at all with it.
Yeah, but Sony does have its ups. Like when they were first coming out with the 360, and then PlayStation came out with the PlayStation 3. Sony took their time with the console, and they kind of made it the best they could. And then Microsoft basically rushed the fuck out of that console, and that's why you had the things like the Red Ring of Death, and there was like so much shit on the 360 that was fucked up. And then with the Sony, there was like barely anything.
The Yellow Light of Death did happen a lot, though. That was also the same thing that the Red Ring of Death was. They had it too. It wasn't as prevalent as the Red Ring of Death, but it was there, so I feel like that's worth mentioning too. But it was last generation, like at least at the start, like when the PS4 came out, Sony just got arrogant as fuck with everything. But before that, like and when the PS3 first came out, they rushed it out and got like it was like $600, but it did PS2 backwards compatibility and all that. But basically they brought it out and nobody liked it at all. Like nobody bought it. So then they spend the rest of the generation trying to make people like them again, and it worked. And they were really good back then, as far as like games and the consoles, and the stuff they did was pretty fucking awesome. But when the PS4 came out, everything they did pretty much just went downhill.
Yeah, pretty much. So anything more to add on this topic?
No, but I will say after this podcast is over, I am going to go online and see how to use a mouse and keyboard on my PS3.
Alright.
And I may never play my Xbox ever again just because mouse and keyboard support. I'm joking, of course. But anyway.
I know.
The next topic we're going to, guys, is another PlayStation topic. This one I just learned about today. Basically, they took the Xbox One's Anthem footage and photoshopped the button. See, I'm going to open up the image here. See, you can see the LB and RB, and they just photoshopped it and put the 1 and L1 and R1 on it. Like, that's so, like, lazy of them. And it's like, basically, they pretty much just ripped the Xbox One E3 footage and photoshopped that one part. And that says a lot of things, really, is that, one, they're obviously scared about the way the PS4 version looks to not want to show their own console. I'm sure it's not that big of a difference, but obviously they're scared to show gameplay from their own console. And two, EA obviously gave them the okay to do this, so I'm not really sure who to blame here, EA or Sony, but nonetheless, it like the picture, it's so horrible and lazy. If you want to give a quick summary though, David, you're more than welcome to.
Yeah, I think you summarized it pretty well, though. Yeah, but it's either, I think they were just being lazy, and they were just trying to, or there might have been a deadline, and they became late on the gameplay, so they were just like, fuck it, we'll ask them if we can use their gameplay, and we'll just do something to it real quick.
Yeah, something. It just screams laziness, and to me, it kind of like, I don't know, like mainly laziness, but also it kind of makes me think like they're scared that the Xbox One X version will look better than theirs, so they're trying to kind of cover their own ass by just using the Xbox One X's gameplay.
Yeah, pretty much. I think the graphics might have been like a little bit worse, so they were like got a little scared, but it was not. I bet it wouldn't have been a big difference either. It probably would have looked exactly the same.
Yeah, it probably would have been like the difference between like the original Xbox One and the PS4. Like it will look a little better on paper. It's supposed to look better, but like in real world gameplay, like you're not really gonna notice the difference unless you have like a 50-inch TV, and then you might notice it a little bit. But in most of the time, you're not even gonna really know the difference unless you're like having side by side on like a 55-inch TV.
Yeah, there might be differences in frame rate and graphics, but it's very slight differences.
Yeah, that's what I think. And crap, I was gonna say something. I forgot what I was gonna say. Oh yeah, it's not gonna be like the PS3 and the 360 where because of the cell processor, like PS3 games look way worse than their 360 counterparts. It's not gonna be like that. It's gonna be a small difference that most people would not notice. So I don't know why they would be that worried about it. It's probably more, like I said, like David said, probably just more about just being lazy than it is like being scared. But it's possible that maybe they're kind of scared about showing their version of the game or whatever.
Yeah, I basically think it was a deadline because, like, as you can see, they if it wasn't a deadline, they would. I mean, if it wasn't, I don't think it would have been like they were scared. It was a deadline most likely because if they didn't have a deadline, they would have done more a very thorough job of photoshopping it because they basically just slapped on their buttons.
Yeah, it's like RB, LB. No, fuck that. R1, L1. There we go. We're not gonna waste any time at all trying to fix that. Hopefully they don't know.
Even I could have done better. I could have done better at photoshopping that than them, and they actually work in a gaming company.
Yeah, I may just go in there after this and just go into Photoshop after we're done filming this. I'm gonna go in and make a better looking thing on this than they did. Like, on my 10-year-old computer with Adobe Photoshop.
Oh shit, that's funny.
But yeah, the thing that crap, I keep getting caught up like talking about other things. I forget what I'm actually gonna say.
I don't think there is much more to say about this topic, actually.
Oh yeah. There's not really a lot more to say. Basically, it's just shame on EA and Sony for this embarrassing Photoshop job.
I'll just show it on screen one more time.
Yeah, me too.
There we go. Look at that. Oh my god. I'm gonna zoom in on this. Hang on. I gotta pull it up. And my tabs open. Look at that. That's fucking crazy.
Let's get a little zoom on this one too.
It's just I could have done a better job. That's what the sad part is.
Helen Keller could have done a better Photoshop job than this.
Probably. Jesus Christ. Ugh.
Here's a little spoiler alert for you guys. No matter what, the PC version will look objectively better than the consoles anyway.
Yeah, graphically wise, the PC looks a lot better. Yeah,
graphically.
Unless you have a low-end PC and then you have to lower your graphics.
Both of them. But yeah, the PS4 and Xbox One should not look that different from each other, though. I may do a comparison whenever the game comes out, and hopefully by that time I can get an Xbox One X at launch, and I can do that and grab some other gameplay from YouTube or from a video site or whatever, and do a little comparison for you guys, and we can see. But for now, I think that's about all we have to say on this topic.
Yep, I have really not much more to say about this, and that's basically the end of our topics. So I'm probably gonna end the video.
Yeah, guys. So that's gonna do it for the whole podcast thing. Let me know what you guys think. This was something really fun. I really enjoyed this. This was a lot of fun. And yeah, guys. So let me know if you want more. I'll definitely maybe make this a weekly thing if I can. If you guys actually would want something like that. But anyway, guys, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope to see you guys in the next video. And until next time, this is Vince Plays, signing off. Peace.